Authority meeting. It looks like everyone here is has been with us before, except we do have Sharon Marshall, who's here representing the RMTA. Thank you for being with us in Joy's stead this morning. So we appreciate it. If you don't mind, join me as we stand and recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I do think we have a forum this morning. We do have a member who is asked to participate remotely. Kevin Curl is requested to participate remotely for the following reason: a personal matter, specifically a scheduling conflict that prevents in-person attendance. I now entertain a motion to confirm that, and I have approved his request. Is there a motion to accept his remote participation?
So moved.
Second.
That's been moved in second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Let us move forward. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
One item of note, there was a handout next to the agendas for CVTA -0054. It's one of the standard project agreements for consideration today related to exit 211 on I-64. That information, I believe, has been updated since the packet was posted. And that's specific to the schedule that is on the page 6 of that spot. So I just wanted to put that out there for everyone's information, just so you had the latest information referring to that.
All right, thank you. Any questions about that?
Mr. Chairman, so this is, Ms. Parsons, this will be the one that Chairman, at his discretion will sign. This
Yes, sir.
SPA, the one that we have, man. Thank you,
Correct.
sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. All right, need to approve the minutes from our June 6th meeting. Are there any questions about it?
Move for approval.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. This is our open public comment period. We do ask that if you are here to speak, that you keep your comments, I think, to 5 minutes or less. Is there anyone here this morning speaking from the public? All right, seeing no one. Chairman's report, I don't have anything that I'm going to share right now. We will go into a closed session at the end of the meeting to discuss a personnel matter. And so I hold my comments to then. Chet, Executive Director's report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This will not take 15 minutes, but I wanted to share 2 items of information for the authority. Item 6A, she is not here today, but many of you have met Mo Nyamweya, who is my new executive assistant, and she has been in place since late June. She's started to take clerk responsibilities for CVTA committees and authority. Janice has been great to lead her through that process, to learn the ropes and do everything that's necessary. Those of you who are involved with reimbursements on CVTA regional funds, Mo is taking the lead on that activity as well, in terms of signature processes and approvals. And she's going to be great. And I hope that if you have not had a chance to meet her yet, that you will in the near future. You'll be seeing a lot more of her from here on out. The other item I wanted to share today is item 6B. And this is just a quick update. We have, this authority has took action, I believe, in April to approve next steps, essentially, for the Technical Advisory Committee, the Finance Committee, and the Finance Directors Working Group related to investigating and moving forward, if necessary, on bond issuance to cover additional project needs. We have taken the first, we met the first deadline. The TAC was asked by August 1st to submit a project from each jurisdiction that would be considered for inclusion in a bond issue. That has been done, and we are now working through the process of evaluating those projects, working with the Finance Directors Working Group to start to understand what a potential bond issue might entail, might look like in terms of size, scope, detail, all of those necessary things that would need to come back for consideration by the Finance Committee. We'll be working through that over the next few months to understand where we stand and what the next steps might be. But I just wanted to give you all an update today on that progress has been made since that April approval of the memo that you considered.
All right, thank you, sir. Any questions from the floor as it relates to what Chad has shared thus far? All right, hearing none, let's keep moving. Action items, VDOT standard project agreement. You can find that information on page 11, and I turn this back over to Chad. Do know that we will need to vote if there is a motion from the floor.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. The staff report is on page 11. Basically, this is a bundle of 5 standard project agreements that have been submitted by VDOT for consideration by the authority. We do have an established reimbursement process for regional project expenditures, and VDOT has asked to enter into new standard project agreements for each of the 5 projects that are shown in the packet today. These projects have all been previously allocated regional funds through round 3 or earlier of the regional funding process, and they will be administered by VDOT. So each of these projects following round 6 of the Smart Scale program earlier this summer is fully funded. So that sets in motion the next steps to enter into these project agreements and move forward with the reimbursement process as the projects proceed. So just a quick overview of each project. The first is Cvta 34, which is the I-95 Route 10 interchange, phase 2. The next would be Cvta 49, which is the Route 288 southbound auxiliary lane. Cvta 51, the Route 250 and 288 interchange improvements. Cvta 54, and this was what I mentioned in the opening to the meeting today, the I-64 exit 211 interchange improvements with the updated schedule. And then finally, Cvta 60, I-64, US 60, Virginia 13 intersection improvements. Mr. Chair, I'd be happy to take any questions. This is fairly straightforward, and I know Mr. Riblet is here if there are any questions on VDOT's staff.
Sure.
So,
I just in reviewing this and being new to this, it seems like VDOT has agreed to the maintenance of these projects as well. Is that standard fare? And is there any scenario where the maintenance falls back to this body or to the locality?
Yes, sir. VDOT has asked to enter into these agreements. They will be administering the projects. So the long-term understanding is that VDOT is the owner of these projects. Mr. Riblet, if there's any difference in that opinion, please.
No, that is correct.
Okay.
If they are projects that are already on VDOT maintained facilities, that is not at all proposed to change.
any other questions? Yes.
I just have a comment, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. I just wanted to draw folks' attention to item 51 because it's a pretty special one for this organization. Giving you a little bit of history, when Goochland was trying to come up with a fund to do the double diamond to allow Amazon to come and bring 1,500 jobs to the region, this was the project that this body said we could move the funds from to support that and make that happen. So we were able to, we had been approved for this project. And we were able to move that. This project was critical to Henrico's ability to do what they need to do for their new short pump exit. So it was a big sacrifice from them, but Goodson said, we will make sure that we push this forward. And I don't know if I already had a chance to talk about this. So this is, in my estimation, in 5 years I've been doing this, the most collegial and really an example of working together. So we were very thankful to Enrico and to the body for doing this, and we're glad that both projects are moving forward at the same time. And this one actually is getting funded sooner than the Ashland Diamond, but there is work going on there, and Project Rocky is fighting strong. But thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks for the comments. Anyone else? All right, hearing no other questions, can we get a motion from the floor to recommend approval of this slate of SPAs?
So moved. Second.
All right, moved in second. All right, second was, I think,
Thank you.
Cousins, yep. Again, any other questions, comments? All right, the voice vote, I assume, I don't see otherwise. So all in favor, say aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you. All right, motion passes. Reports, CVTA Finance Committee update.
Morning, everybody. Yeah, I'll take
Yeah.
that. I know most of you, but for those of you I don't, Danny Abula, Mayor, City of Richmond.
So let me say this, Mr. Mayor, we at our finance committee meeting, we elected John Moyer as the chair and Mayor Avula as the vice chair. Mr. Moyer is not with us today, so Mayor Avula is thrown into the fight.
What a fire it is. So yeah, great meeting August 13. Obviously elections happened, and John and I both are happy to serve in this way. A couple of updates. Ms. Parsons presented quarterly financial report. Revenues are on track with our projections. I think continued strong financial management of the organization. We did get updates on the status of different regional projects, including details on reimbursements and the importance of tracking expenditures. We reviewed the local quarterly report. And then we had a good conversation that maybe Chet you want to speak to, is just the working capital reserve. Mr. Parsons provided an overview of that working capital reserve fund. We talked about, what are its intended uses when, if we had an economic downturn, we would want to tap that fund. And there were some questions back and forth about what are appropriate uses. Anything else you'd want to say about that?
No, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think the important takeaway is the Finance Committee is very well aware of the working capital reserve and is committed to understanding when that should be used and should not be used. The working capital reserve is a special fund that has been set up to provide support when basically we can't cover our bills, when there are issues that are region-wide that may impact all of the projects that we have underway, all of the current reimbursements that are being considered. We have other tools in our quiver to address individual project overruns or other types of specific things that may arise. But the working capital reserve is for a reason that would be out of the CVTA's control, that we can cover our costs.
And then we spent some time talking through the bond project pool, which Mr. Parsons has already covered this morning. So grateful for the service of the Finance Committee members, grateful to serve in this role, and any questions?
Thank you, sir. Financial activities and investment report, I think we're gonna start with Lauren.
Yes,
Yep.
thank you. Mr. Parsons and I continue to welcome your feedback on this updated format of the financial package. So please don't hesitate to reach out with questions here at the meeting or send us a note afterwards. I'm on page 3 of the slide deck. This latest tax collection and distribution schedule reflects the tax activity from June to March, June 24 to March 25, as highlighted in yellow. As a note, as part of our continued efforts around the financial roles and responsibilities document adopted by this authority, Chesterfield's fiscal agent has added a bullet third from the bottom on this document, as documentation that each locality has independently verified their individual distribution amount. Moving on to slide 4, the tax and distributions data has been input into a Sandkey diagram. As a reminder, the thickness of the lines represents quantity. So the thicker the line, the more dollars it represents. Sales and use tax at 142 million makes up 75% of the total revenues funding CVTA during that period of June 2024 to March 2025. And local fuels tax of 47 million makes up 25%. For a total of 189 million in revenues year to date 2025, fiscal year 2025. As a note, this represents just 10 months of revenue collection and distribution due to the timing around actual collection of revenue, the upstream distribution from VDOT to Chesterfield as fiscal agent, the locality's independent verification and distribution, and all the related reporting. We will plan to provide a full 12-month report in the financial package at our November meeting. Of the 189 million collected year to date, as per the distribution ratio adopted by the authority, 50% or 94 million has been distributed to the localities. 35% or 66 million has been distributed to the regional fund, and 15% or 28 million to GRTC. Less than 0.5%, represented by that thin pink line on the diagram, has been transferred for operations, which we'll review on the next slide. So this version of the diagram takes that thin pink line transferred to the operating fund and expands it to reflect the detailed year-to-date expenses through June 30, 2025. 652,000 has been spent to date, and those expenses are broken out into the major categories of personnel, professional services, technology, and administration, alongside one additional level of detail. Any questions here before I move on? On this next slide, you'll see that same data just in an Excel format. Overall, operating expenses are 22% under budget, primarily due to certain changes in assumptions after the budget was approved. The original budget was created with a conservative lens so that we didn't have to come back to the committee and the authority for budget amendments. The larger variances include reduced spending and staffing with the shifted hire date of the new executive assistant, Mo Nyamwea. Contracted services and the shifted timing around engaging additional outside partners related to the bond exploration, and public engagement with Chesterfield's direct support of video production and a social media campaign discussing CVTA projects, expenses that CVTA no longer needed to directly incur. As a note, Q1 fiscal year 26 financials will be presented at the November meeting, reflecting activity through September 30th. No changes to fiscal year 26 projections at this time. Quick note on our financial management system. We have signed a contract with a vendor earlier this month. We have our kickoff meeting today. We're very excited to start moving forward with this initiative. We talked to the finance committee and this authority a few months back. Happy to take any questions. That's it for me.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
So when we talk about staffing, why don't we have some of that broken down into contract services? Because we MOU with Plan RVA. So like our financial management system, it's actually Plan RVA's financial management system, but we're a contracted service with CVTA. So what's the thought process there?
We're actually,
The numbers are still accounted for. I get
Yeah.
that, yeah.
so we're actually shifting the presentation of exactly what you've just described going into fiscal year 26.
Yeah.
So in fiscal year 26, the Plan RVA staff time is shifting from personnel to contracted services.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, all right. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Other questions? All right, thank you. And we went through this extensively in finance committee last week. Second part of this is the investment report.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. This is page 58 in the packet. As the chair mentioned, Finance Committee did talk about this in detail. One of the things that we're adding with the support of our fiscal agents in Chesterfield are bullet points for the investment report yet to be considered each month. We really, the question was raised, what should we be taking away from this investment report when the Finance Committee gets it? So the three highlights I wanted to raise with you today, and this is for the June 2025 report, Interest earnings for fiscal year 2025 exceeded prior years as short-term yields have remained higher than anticipated and investment balances increased. And that is reflected on the bottom left of that page with the bar chart, with the light blue bars, to show year over year, by fiscal year, what the earnings have been for the same time period. The second point is that the Fed does expect 2 more rate cuts by the end of this year. So we're closely watching that to see what the impacts might be for the portfolio and what that might mean and how flexible we need to be to make adjustments as needed if those cuts go into place. And then finally, the portfolio outperformed all of the yield benchmarks, which you can see at the top right of the report, and 2 of the year-over-year benchmarks for the month of June. So continuing to perform well regardless of the market. So that thanks to our partners in Chesterfield to make sure that continues to happen on a monthly basis. Mr. Chair, the only other thing I wanted to raise in terms of this reporting, and we talked about this at Finance Committee, what Ms. Shepherd presented today, we plan to provide the more detailed report on a quarterly basis. That would reflect closing the books and coordination with meeting dates so that we were able to provide more updated information for both the Finance Committee and the authority as it comes in. In those off months per quarter, we'll still be presenting what you've gotten from me previously, which is the investment report and the green sheet that shows the tax revenues and distributions.
So we'll get the quarterly report when?
That is scheduled, do you remember? November?
There's a sequence of
Right.
every quarter, so the next one will be in November. So that'll give us time to close September, the quarter ending September 30th.
Hearing and finance and in general budget.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Mr. Chair,
All right, with that, Mr. Carroll, let's, Mr. Spoonhour had his hand up first, I guess. Maybe you
Perfect.
did, but I didn't see you, so let's go to Mr. Spoonhour. Yes, sir.
Thank
he's
you.
there, I'm not.
Thank you both for your point. Regarding the investment report, we've done very well, and thank you for Chesterfield for managing that for us. So we're doing great with the people's money. When we saw that there was a significant amount in that fund, we as body took action and funded some projects and decided to fund the reserves. Do we, as well, optimistically speaking, saying that fund continues to grow, do we have the trigger that we would look to do something with those excess funds? Is that part of our policy now? Or is that something we need to kind of move as Cvta evolves?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, that's a great question, Mr. Spoonhour. And if you look at page 54, that's the tax collections and distributions page. This question, I believe, was in reference to our interest income,
Yes.
which is what we pulled from previously to help advance a section of the fall line, I believe. We are actively tracking the working capital reserve, which is now topped off at 18 million. That is funded through the interest income. So as long as the working capital reserve is in place and fully funded, we will continue to collect interest income much as we did before. So to your question directly, there is no trigger at this time to signify that the authority should do something with the interest income. The interest income continues to grow and to appreciate, but there may be a time in the future where the authority takes a look at the bottom numbers and decides that the interest income is at a point where it should or could be used for additional projects or something else. But to directly answer your question, there is no trigger at this time in terms of policy or consideration.
You have a recommendation?
I'm not sure how other organizations do it. I've never run into this problem where we have so much interest that we can actually do some meaningful stuff with it, especially my own portfolio. But it may be worth maybe looking into if that's something the body is interested in, or we could just keep our eye on it But it may be good to say if it exceeds a certain percentage or a dollar amount that we'd want to look at those funds, since, you know, we should put the taxpayers' dollars to work.
Maybe this is something that we can push to finance and have them to consider.
Sure.
Yeah, Mr. Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Spooner was right on point with that, and one of the 2 points I would like to make. One, as I made the point in the Finance Committee, when you look at on this sheet that's being shown right now, when it talks about funds collected year to date or lifetime to date, that number is 336,988,000, and that is for the regional fund pot. But if you look at our investment portfolio, that number is now 355,867,000 and change. And my point I want to make is we've, in that time frame, have still taken money out of that regional pot to pay for projects. So our portfolio has been performing very well, which is why we've been able to put our reserve in place of 18 million in a short period of time. But to the point Mr. Spoonhour said, one of the things when we look at what Rebecca reported about projected rate cuts in the future, which could affect essentially the portfolio, I think one of the things that we need to refer for the Finance Committee would be to take a look at our project allocations and get a really defined timetable about when those dollars will need to be dispersed for these projects. And if we have some projects that it's going to take longer for the allocations to look at being dispersed, our portfolio, we can look at a different type of investment opportunity if the money's not going to be needed for a longer period of time, which could even give us a better yield. So it's just something I want to bring forward that we could talk about in the Finance Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other comments, questions? All right, hearing none. That was a report, didn't need to be voted on. Let's move forward to the TAC updates. TAC chair report.
Chair, I don't believe the tech chair is here. Yes, sir, I can do that. So the Technical Advisory Committee met, I believe it was the 11th.
Yeah. That's
You want
correct.
this? Yes, and the major focus at the time was advancing many of the same recommendations, including the VDOT spas. Ms. Smith, if you have anything I'm grasping right now.
First, my computer went to sleep about the time I needed it. So TAC was busy in July, preparing Cvta regional applications that were submitted on the 31st. Is that right? And then the next day, submitting candidate bond projects for consideration. And Chet touched on that already. We looked at the SPA agreements, Cvta regional project reporting. So quarterly reports are needed for projects that are active. We talked again about the local quarterly reporting as well. And I think that's the bulk of it.
I think so.
Yeah. If there are any questions.
Mr. Chair, one of the things that Finance Committee discussed in detail at its last meeting was the quarterly reporting that is now all hopefully streamlined in terms of ease of submittal for TAC members who have the primary responsibility for most of that. But we're now able to use our website, and there's a private member portal where each locality can submit every quarter local expenditures of Cvta local dollars, which is the 50% return, and then updates on any project schedule changes or scope shifts that are related to the regional funding that has been awarded through the allocations plan after each round. And that was something that Finance Committee had requested more detail on so that those considerations could be could be taken before signing off on reimbursements, just to make sure we had the best information available on the progress of all of these regional projects. So, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep.
Appreciate you. Well, before you go, were there any questions? All right, thank you. All right, I wanna move two things. We're going into closed session, but can we just go ahead and knock the agency reports out? Plan RBA and TPO. Any things that we wanna share from those reports? Anybody here to share on behalf of those organizations? Oh, okay. Hey, Martha, didn't see you. Come on.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just to put a finer point on some things that you have in your packet and to give you some updates. Unfortunately, we did not have enough interest in the upcoming Port of Virginia tour that was scheduled for September, so we did cancel that. So if we're on the mailing list for that, likely you got that information, and we'll continue to pulse whether that's a function of interest or conflict with scheduling, that kind of thing, to see if we should reschedule. In addition to that, I just wanted to share, kind of in light of Chet's comments earlier, we've got a couple of different staffing changes happening. So thanks to Janice for being here this morning to cover for Mo in her absence. But I do want to let the CVT know that Janice has already let the TPO and will let our board know in September when they meet, she will be retiring. And so she's given us her date and she's staying with us through the first part of October, but we're really grateful. Janice has been with the CVTA since the beginning of this organization, and we're really grateful for what you've done to be able to help us get to this far, and has been an integral part of that staffing, shared staffing arrangement. And as CVTA grows and has built its more dedicated staff portfolio, we're really grateful for what you've done to be able to help make that possible.
Thank you, thank you.
Got an active recruitment process underway to be able to identify the right candidate to fill Janice's shoes. So while you may not have as much interaction with that replacement, certainly that person will be a key partner in working with Mo. And so we are looking for being able to build that kind of leverage to have that overlap and peer-to-peer coverage and support. I'll also share that on September 2nd, we're bringing on Elizabeth Oatman to our team. She's joining a team as accounting manager.
Manager of accounting.
Manager of accounting, thank you. So she'll be joining Lauren and her team, and really, we're excited about the opportunity to bring additional financial management support to the Plan RVA staff. And so of course that brings additional support through our funding partnership agreement with CVTA to you. So stay tuned for that. I would imagine at the upcoming finance committee meeting, or maybe at the next authority meeting, you might see her in the audience. So we're looking forward to that. Commission next meets on September 25th. It's a different date than our normal cycle, but because of the observance of September 11th and Patriot Day, we wanted to make sure that our local government officials can be at home in their communities to recognize any of the events that are happening in that day. So our chair decided that it would be good to move that meeting. So just a heads up for that. And otherwise, if there's anything that I've missed or you've heard about that I can answer questions, I'd be happy to. But I wanted to show those couple updates that are necessarily reflected in the report.
Thank you. Any questions for Martha? We appreciate you as always. Thank you. Anybody have any comments before we go into closed session? Any CVTA comments? I should have mentioned this when we started. Since our last meeting, we have lost one of our members, who passed, Mr. John Hodges, who was with us at our last meeting. He was virtual at the last meeting back in June. He passed, and his celebration of life, I think, was a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if any of y'all went. I know Mr. Carroll went. But John Hodges was a good man and served not just Ashland with distinction, but served our community. Brought bevy of knowledge, you know, as a planning director, and was just a good regional person and cared about our region. And you know, we're gonna miss him dearly. So if you did not know, I wanted to make sure I shared that with you. Continue to keep his family in your thoughts and prayers, etc. And the second thing with the minutes, I did see something in the minutes. My name has it's just TYRON on the officer thing, so it's a E, something small, but you know, it's like kind of important to me, so. I think it's on page 9. Anybody have any comments before we go into closed session? Yes.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank this
Mr.
body
Miller.
and Chet Parsons for coming to speak to the Capital Region Airport Commission. He came at our last commission meeting and gave a really good overview of what this body does, the regional coordination, and stimulated a lot of good conversation there. So thank you.
Yeah, since you're talking, is there anything you want to share about the airport? I sure you.
Well, we are really working hard to make this airport an international airport. You may have seen the really good article that was written, and I think we can thank the person that's here taking notes now for that contribution. But as we move forward to stimulate interest, it would be really helpful if members of this body are communicating with people who have little influence of the importance of the risk mitigation fund that we have been talking about. And what that fund will do is be used to entice an international carrier to fly in and out of Richmond. I will, if you'd like, I think it'll be a good idea if I come back to this body and talk a little bit more in detail once we sketch out the details of that risk mitigation fund. But you should know that my intention is to truly make this airport an international airport and not just a name only. So, thank you.
All right, so we'll make sure that we put you on the agenda soon. We'll coordinate that. I think I told Cheryl Adams, it looked like she wanted to say something about GRTC. I heard there was some exciting things going on at GRTC too. Is there anything you want to share with us?
Good morning. Thank you for putting me on the spot. What's exciting at GRTC, we are continuing with the micro transit zone for most of you in Powhatan. I wanted to express the fact that we've expanded that zone and we are now seeing additional riders taking advantage of that. So that's exciting. So hopefully expanding it will help the community there. They also have access to our entire system. So by catching a microtransit zone link, they can also get to Chesterfield Town Center, doctor's appointments, different places like that. So I think that's exciting for you guys there. The Ashland zone is doing phenomenal. Other than the Henrico zone, it's our second highest, so we are excited about that. And overall, just ridership is up. We're over 12 million riders, which is huge. Our prior to the pandemic, our highest ridership was over 8 million, and we're now over 12 million. So we're excited about that.
And we have shelters and benches going up all over the place. So exciting time.
Yes.
All right. Anybody else want to share anything before we go into closed session? Yes.
Mr. Chair, yes, Steve
sir.
Bennett, Mayor of Ashland. I am now Ashland's representative, and I can't use the word replace Mr. John Hodges, but certainly want to thank everybody for the kind letters, emails on his passing, especially for the Lifetime Achievement Award. His family was very appreciative of that, and in the town as well. So just want to thank everyone for that. And as you say, acknowledge John's tremendous, his legacy will continue. So thank y'all.
All right. Thank you, guys. We are preparing to go into closed session and we're gonna ask that if you're not on the board, that you transition out. Mr. Davis is going to make our motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move that the authority convene in closed session pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act 2.23711A1 for the purposes of discussing personnel matters concerning a CVTA employee, during which all recording of the meeting will cease.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, so I guess, on